by going to demo, you get an example of a flower shop using the AllProWebTools system.
Mm-hmm.
And up in the corner here, you can click on Demo Info, where you can log into the back end and actually play with the settings and change things around.
Ah, sweet. Okay.
So the username and password are both demo.
Demo. I saw that. But so now let me ask you, is this the interface right now as though I'm a outside person looking at somebody's website, or is this
Correct.
actually, okay.
Yeah, so now what we're going to do is by clicking here, we're going to log in as the owner of the website and make changes.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
So I'm clicking on that, and then my login is demo, my password is demo. So now that I'm logged into the back side of the website, I'm presented with a number of options, but the main thing that really separates us from everyone else is this timeline here. The timeline allows the owner of the business to see what's happening in the business on a minute-to-minute basis.
This is what you showed me on your screen when we were down there. You're showing me what people were entering, correct?
Exactly. I was showing you that on my smartphone.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so you can see
I'll
all
be
of
quiet.
your staff. Oh, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Jump in anytime. So you can see all of your staff, when they've clocked in, when they've clocked out, what clients they're working on, any orders that they've processed, any abandoned carts by any of your customers, any new leads that have been added to the system. You just have a plethora of information all presented in a really simple manner in the setting of a timeline, so you can see what the most recent thing was at the top. And then, of course, you have your filters here, so you can filter that timeline and just look at all the invoices that have been sent out and all the money that's been paid.
Okay.
There is permissions for different users, so if you don't want different users on the system to see certain things, you can restrict that right now.
Okay.
So I think another thing that we had talked about was just the idea of small business owners right now being asked to have 20 different softwares to run their business. They usually have a separate software for their CRM, a separate software for their blog, a separate software for their website, a separate software for their email marketing, a separate software for their point of sale. And really the idea here is to bring that all together under one roof. So down on the side here, you have your website where you can add web pages, change your web pages around. You can make blog posts. You can add images and files. You have control of all of your website there. Then under the store, you can create products to be sold. You can create invoices. You can do automatic billing on a regular basis with your customers. You can set up your tax rates. You can ship your packages directly from the system and print out your shipping labels. You can control your inventory. It's a number of things you can do there with your store.
Now they can totally customize what applications they get within this, right? Because I saw where the support and the pricing is based on it, and I wouldn't call it a module, but it was like mini apps inside this whole thing.
Yes.
But do you call them modules or do you call them apps?
You call them tools, AllProWebTools.
Tools, okay.
Yep.
Tools.
So if somebody did have a third-party CRM system they were using and they liked, they wouldn't have to use ours.
Well, you know, the whole point of this is being a one-stop shop, so.
Yeah, honestly, what we find is people who start using our system for a few of the features end up converting everything over just because it's easier to have it all in one place.
Nice, I agree. Okay, sorry.
So in the shipping manager, we integrate with U.S. Postal Service, FedEx, and UPS, and they can set up all their different shipping levels. You've got all kinds of different settings that you can do here with different price ranges. You can set up tiered shipping rates. You can print the labels to your regular 8.5 by 11 printer, or you can also select print right there with a label printer. I got all the settings in here.
Awesome. Okay.
And then under contacts, you have the ability to have an affiliate system. We also have the acquire leads system, which I think is pretty cool. You can take the flag and drop it on a city. And then over here, you can type in anything you're searching for. I'm always searching for pizza.
You know, I read about that on your website. I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, so it'll bring up a website that apparently toothbrush and pizza. I always think of those together. But what I'll do is I'll automatically load the name, address, and phone number of the contact. And you can click this phone number and it'll ring your phone. And this would be great for prospecting for a sales team. They can keep notes about the phone call that they made. They can even set a callback time in the calendar to be reminded to call this person back. And then they can add it to their pipeline.
How do they get reminded? Does it send an email? Does it come up with like an alert? How do they access that reminder?
Currently, it comes up with an alert. It's up here at the top here, set at 27.
Okay.
So it'll tell you that you have a number of orders to complete, and it'll also let you know that you have customers who need to be called today. We're also building an integration to Google Calendar, which means it'll synchronize with your smartphone.
Nice. Okay.
So let's take a look here at the CRM. So again, in the CRM, you can see the client that I'm working with here and the company name. You can add all the contact information. But over here, you have the timeline again. And this timeline is restricted solely to this particular client. So I can see all the orders that he's made, any complaints he's made to our customer service team, any special requests that he's had. And I can open up any of these orders and get more details on the order. I can see what he ordered, when he ordered it, how he paid for it. There can be notes on the specific order and also the tracking number of the package that went out to him.
Now, I know that you have an address book, and I didn't look at that, but I was looking at the buyer information and whether or not you can indicate if it is what address you're shipping it to, like a home or business.
Yeah, it does allow for multiple shipping addresses, and I know that they've added the ability to tag those. I believe it's in the next version that's being released next week. The current version is 3.01. 3.02 has that feature in there where you can specify the shipping, the mailing, the physical address, all of those things.
Gotcha. Okay.
Great question, though.
Well, it's funny because I'm trying to think of all the software experience I have, and I'm trying to relate. I'm looking at this because this is big. A one-stop shop for people is huge right now, and I keep hearing even on the NTM side how clients want a one-stop shop. So I like it so far.
Well, thank you. Another thing we offer for customer service is this help button over here. It's on every page, and when you click it, it will pull up videos that relate to the specific page that you're on. So if you're stuck, you have questions, any time of day, you can watch a video that's going to walk you through how to get through that system. Now, if that doesn't help you, at the bottom here, you have the ability to chat directly with our support staff, or you can request a support code to call in and get live help on the phone. We also encourage all of our users to give us ideas of how to improve the software. And that's really how our new versions get created every 30 days. So by clicking this report bugs and suggestions, they get brought directly into our forum where they can suggest features or new things that they'd like to see in the system. They can also report bugs that they find, but they can also look at our changelog and version plans for the future. So here we can see all the previous versions of the software and the current version that's live right now, and we can actually look in the future and see what new features are planned and when those are expected to be released.
That's awesome.
So really, all the features in our software have been a result of suggestions from users of the software.
Sure, I think that's what drives software most of the time is suggestions and improving it.
Yep.
Now I have a question for you. Do you have an outside, or do you track this in here for support cases? So when these potential clients call, or not potential, but when your clients call and they have these cases, because obviously I know that it's per support case or depending on their bronze, silver, gold, and platinum levels. So do you guys have an outside support tracking system, or do you track it through here as well?
Yeah, we actually use the very same software to run our business that we sell to other people to run their businesses. So yes, everything is tracked through our system.
That's cool.
So where we would have maybe this customer here, and then their timeline, it would also include any support requests that they had, any problems that they've had in the past. You can also create tags for your contacts down here. So you can create any tags that you want, however you want to group people. And then if you want to contact those people later by phone or email or mail out postcards to certain groups, you have the ability to do that.
Which is very cool. So, okay, so in here as well, so if this is the back end, so this is if I was using it as an employer and maintaining this information. The web piece is the marketing piece, correct? What is involved in setting that up? Is it really difficult to set up their web pages?
Oh, let's go right in there. So we'll go to My Web Pages. And up here I have this eyeball. I can click on that and it'll open up a new window that'll show me the website. So what I want to do is I want to edit this web page called One Column. So we can see what it looks like here as a customer would view it. Now we're going to go to the back side here and we're going to find that One Column page. It's right here. I'm going to click on that. And so here we can see all the words that show up on that page, and here's the picture. I'm going to reduce the size of this picture in half, and I'm going to make some of the text bold. And then I'm going to save it. And now when I go back out to the actual website and reload the page, you'll see that the picture has shrunk and some of the text is bold.
I like that. I like that it's easy to do. It doesn't seem very complicated. Anybody could probably do it.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it is. That's good. That's really awesome.
So
what else? Go ahead.
The other thing that helps businesses to grow is keeping consistent communication with their leads and prospects, and they usually do that through emails. So there's a complete email manager here. So we'll open up one of these emails, and the emails are editable just the same way. So you can click on Edit, and you can resize the images, move things around.
Does the emails come directly? Sorry, do the emails come directly into this program, or does? I'm assuming you have to set up an email piece to it, and then you can receive your emails in here.
So we're talking about email marketing, which is when you send an email out to a list of customers. It's not for interactive emails back and forth like you would use your Outlook for. Now we do we do manage your emails for you. So you can go here to Emails under Settings, and as a company you can create new email boxes for new employees. You can forward emails to other email addresses. So you have all that control. We don't give access to that in the demo for obvious reasons.
Yeah. So for your marketing purposes, so if you wanted to market out, say, a segment, like part of those tags, maybe it's just the buyers, and so you can create a massive email in here and send it out based on, is it pulling previous people's information when they purchase off the website, their email addresses?
There's actually a number of different places you can collect that information. So yes, it does collect the email addresses of people who have purchased from you. It'll collect email addresses from people who have filled out your boxes where they can ask for additional information. And it'll categorize them however you configure it to categorize them. So here we've got this favorite flower. If their favorite flower is rose or roses, we can just send an email to people who like roses.
Okay.
And I'll show you how that works. Actually quite simple.
Great.
So if we're looking at the email here and we click Schedule Email, we're presented with all of our groups.
Oh,
so
nice.
we have people who are interested in roses. We'll just click that, and we're going to send this email to all the people who are interested in roses, and we're going to send it on Wednesday the 19th.
That's it?
Yep.
That's awesome. And does it not, is there a detailed information that goes in it, or is it just send out as, what does it send out? What kind of email?
Well, that was the email that I was just looking at.
Yeah, okay.
You select the email you want first, So I get this email set up, configured the way I want, and when I'm ready to send it out, I just go up here and click schedule email.
Okay. So those emails are like template emails that you can send out.
Yep.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So now, how do you, because I know you said financial, so how do you actually bill or record your payments?
So there's a complete invoicing system. So we'll go back up here and we'll find Peter Pan again.
Okay.
Pull him up. And now if we want to create a special invoice for him because he walked into our store and he wanted to buy some stuff, we'll click up here where it says new order.
Okay.
So here we get all of his information and we can start loading up his items. So he wanted to buy some roses, some red roses for $52. And we're going to give him a $10 discount. Go ahead and add that.
Okay.
And if he has a coupon, we can enter the coupon code here. So we'll build out his entire invoice, and then we'll calculate his shipping and tax.
Now I'm assuming that is a setup. Do clients have to enter the sales tax information, or does that come with the system?
So you can see it automatically pulled the appropriate tax rate for his area.
Is that
you can load your tax rates manually if you want, or you can integrate with an external tax solution. As you may know, sales tax rates change every year, subject to different counties and cities and all ordinances and everything. So there's actually external tax subscription services that can be tied into this that will automatically update your tax rates for you, or you can just enter them manually if you do low volumes.
Okay.
And then we can choose the shipping method. It'll automatically total that for us, and then we can go ahead and click create the order. And from here, we can either print the invoice or we can email the invoice to the customer. You can see here it hasn't yet been paid. It's just an invoice. Now, when the customer decides to pay it, they can pay it online themselves. So if we go to print invoice, they'll see the invoice, and right here it says click to pay now. That'll take the customer back to the website. They can enter a credit card. And then with the timeline, you'll automatically be alerted when that invoice has been paid so you can take the appropriate action. But if they walk into your store with a check, you can put in cash, check, or credit card here. I'll put in a check.
Okay.
And we'll put in the check amount, which was for $49.42. And we'll put in the check number for account tracking purposes. And we'll hit submit. So now you can see it's been paid in full. Close that up. And now we can see the check number here. We can even see which one of the employees took that payment, so we can track that, and then we can see when that payment was entered.
Okay. That's cool. Now, do you ever get any expenses where you have to record expenses in here, or will it do that?
Well, the system
for inventory or something.
The system is not intended to take over the accounting software. It doesn't do what QuickBooks would do. What it does is just track your sales. And then that data can be exported to your accountant in any format that they need to import it into QuickBooks or to balance your books for you.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool. That's kind of typical, though. So what's the marketing piece down here?
So there's a number of marketing tools. One is the keyword lookup system. And so what we found is that if people are on your website and they're searching for something, so let's say they're searching for roses, and they get results of roses. But let's say that you don't carry roses. For some reason, you're a flower shop that just doesn't carry roses. You would actually be able to see how many people are searching for roses on your website and how often they're searching for them.
Interesting.
Not sure where that one is. Oh, it's website. Site searches. There we go. So you can see I just searched for roses and it picked up on that.
Excuse me, so it's like analytics in a way built into the...
Right, directly into the website.
Yeah.
There's also a campaign manager, which allows you to set up different campaigns. So here's a Valentine's Day campaign where this client decided to spend some money on Facebook pay-per-click campaigns and also wanted to do some ads in a newspaper. And they were able to generate reference codes and track the number of people who visited their website from those sources and how many people actually made purchases and the dollar amounts of those purchases.
Okay, I'm confused. So so when they create these campaigns, like the Facebook, so they go into Facebook that interfaces with the software, and they create.
When you go to Facebook to create your ad, they're going to ask you to give them the URL where you would like people to go when they click on the Facebook ad. So you would copy this URL out and you would give that to Facebook, and it has a reference code attached to it, which is how the system is able to track that. It'll even show you where those people came from who clicked on that ad.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. That's pretty cool. So I'm assuming that it then tracks, or you have some kind of tracking where it says, okay, we know that you've got this piece of it, but this is the percentage of the orders that came from this campaign, or this is the percentage. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So we recommend generating a monthly report every month that'll help you to understand what's working in your business and what's not. And when you do that and you see which emails were more effective than others, that's when you can make decisions going forward. And that's how we've seen such consistent growth in some of the clients that have worked with us, because they're able to continually make the right decisions as opposed to just kind of throwing a dart at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Gotcha. Can I take a look at the reports, like some of your sample reports there?
Sure. So I'll show you one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
It's the one I use pretty regularly. So this is the month-over-month report. It doesn't really work if you're looking at a single month date range. So I like to look at it from January 1st. So this shows the number of sales over time, month over month. So you can see if your sales are going up or down. You can also look at just the pure number of orders. So maybe your sales dollars is going up, but is that a result of more orders or a higher average order amount? So that's kind of how that helps you. Another report that we use a lot is the sales stats report. So this just kind of shows that same time period here, and you can see spikes where the sales occurred. So you can kind of look for any kind of patterns, like you get more sales on Fridays than you do on Mondays. And then over the same date range here, I'm also looking at the actual number of sales for each item and how much money was generated, average sale price, and it can also project for the remainder of the month if you're doing a partial month.
That's pretty slick. That is cool. So I see that you have employees there. What, where would they actually, I see you're looking at, now you're showing me these reports, but where would they actually enter their information for their time? And
great question. So up here in the corner, this is where the employee can manage all of their things that they need to do. So they can change their profile, they can do their time card, they can also manage their tasks, and they can manage their passwords. And if you have salespeople, they can manage their pipelines and their sales. So we'll start at the top here with the time card. So if you're the type of company that has a number of different clients and you bill your clients for your employees' time, your employee can come in here and search for the name of one of your customers, and they can actually clock in to that customer. And
that's cool.
So because this customer doesn't have any money on retainer, this is set up to require that an administrator override the login here. But that's a setting that you can turn off if you wish.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, if you're just a company where the employees they all clock in when they come into work and they don't necessarily count their time for each employee, the system will track that as well.
Okay.
Now, another thing that's extremely effective in increasing the productivity and the workflow in the business is the tasking system. As opposed to having a bunch of sticky notes all over your monitor from all the different people in your department who have things they want you to do, This system allows you to organize that all in one place and access it from your smartphone anywhere that has internet access. And you've got some color coding here so you can see any items that have been completed, but the majority of things are actually listed in an urgency priority level. You can also set up recurring tasks so you can be reminded to take out the garbage once a week or to take the money to the bank every day.
So let me ask you, when I'm looking at this with completed list, I don't want to see anything that's completed on here. Is there a way to filter that down to not see completed? Or
well,
maybe
let me show you how this works.
Okay.
So if I want to assign a task to someone else, this is a very common problem in businesses. So I'm going to assign a task to John. It's very important that he does this task, and I'm going to set a due date. It needs to be done by tomorrow. So I'm going to put the task in here. I'm going to send that off. But wait a minute. How am I going to know when he's done? How am I going to know when he's actually completed this? So up here it says, let me know when this is marked complete, yes. So that's what you were seeing on the task list. You were seeing a task that this person had sent to someone else, and they had actually completed that task. So this is just a reminder that that person has now completed this task. So I can go in here as a supervisor, and I can see what they did with the task, and now I have the option to complete it or send it back to them and say, hey, you didn't complete the task. You need to redo it. So once I hit complete, it will actually disappear from my list.
Oh, okay. So basically, if you are the supervisor or whomever, just another employee, and you're assigning a task to another person, it's going to be based on the user, obviously, that's logged in. That is the one that gets notified.
You've got it.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Very cool.
So we've seen this really help a lot of businesses to get organized and get all the paper clutter off their desk.
That's good.
It also helps
totally
with
agree with you.
Teams who are collaborating on something. In our office, we have currently sent over 20,000 tasks in the last 5 years. And so they're all searchable. So if you're thinking, oh, what was that project we worked on last month? Remember, we found that answer to that problem. Now we're having that same problem again. So you can type in a search, find that task, find out who worked on it, and get things resolved a lot faster.
Okay, so you can see other people's tasks, basically. Okay.
It's configurable either way.
Okay.
And one of the future versions we're working on restricting which teams have access to which team's information. So we're going to put a bunch of privacy features in there in the future.
Okay. Okay. Do you see that being a big enhancement or a big request from clients?
No, actually we don't. What we've really helped to educate people on is how to create a team environment and how to get people to collaborate and work together more closely, even when they work on opposite ends of the world. By having a cloud-based interface like this where everybody can task back and forth, it's amazing how much faster things get done.
Very true. I agree. It's amazing, just modern technology in general.
Exactly.
No, this has been helpful.
We also have the password system. So a lot of people write passwords on pieces of paper on their desk, which means that if somebody breaks into the office, they have all the passwords. Some people save them in a Word doc called passwords. So if a hacker gets into your system, one of the first things they look for is all of the files with the name password on them. What this system does is securely stores all of the passwords for all of your different logins that you have to use on a regular basis. And you can just double click that password, copy that, and paste it into whatever you're logging into. Now, we really recommend using long, complicated passwords. But who's going to remember a long, complicated password? And they're also suggesting that we use a different long, complicated password for every single thing we log into. Imagine what that would look like. So what this system does allows you to generate a crazy password and then save it, store it here, and then use that by just copying and pasting it into whatever it is you're logging into. This also helps to prevent staff members from memorizing passwords so that if somebody was to leave the company, you wouldn't have to go and change all your passwords. There's also a clearance level you can set for all of the different passwords in here, and you can set up different access levels for different employees. So maybe certain people need to see certain passwords related to accounting, but they don't need to see passwords related to emails.
So which one's the highest number? I mean, does it go one being the highest or the lowest, or?
Right. So 1 is the highest. So usually the owner of the company is going to be set to a 1. He's going to see all the passwords. Okay. And the lowest guy in the totem pole is going to be 9, and he's only going to see things that are a 9.
Oh, okay. Okay. So is there, when somebody purchases AllProWebTools, is there anything that's configured with it? Do you have like implementation packages that they can select from? Because maybe they don't use everything. They pick and choose, apparently. And then do you offer any other services with setting up?
Great question. So, I got a lot of windows open here. If they go to Settings and then Web Tools, that's where they can manage all of their web tools. You can see all the different features that this person is using. Now they can change around the web tools that they're using. They can add additional ones, and everything's listed here. Okay. And they can cancel anything that they have. What they do is they keep a credit card on file, and the system will automatically bill them on the first of every month for whatever services they use that month. They can turn features off whenever they like. They're only billed on 30-day increments.
Okay. Now, what do you offer them though? So you've got a brand new client. They really love the software. They want to implement it. How do you go about implementing it with them? You just say, "Here you go, have fun." And the videos. I know they got the videos.
Yes, we do have videos. So if you go to Help and Support Plans, down here you can see that all new accounts get 15 hours of premium support for the first 30 days. So we really use that 15 hours to help them get things configured and set up and answer all their questions and show them best practices. And we are willing to do that in the Platinum package, all with phone support. We do screen shares like we're doing right now, and walk them through the system and answer their questions. So we have that personal touch. But some people don't want that. They just want a manual. They just want some videos, and they want to figure it out themselves. So that is also an option that they can take advantage of. We have online chat if they have just a couple of quick questions. We also have the support forum where a number of common questions have been asked. So it's really up to the client what they're most comfortable with, but we're more than happy to provide that 15 hours of phone support.
What do you see your trend being? Do people take advantage of that, or do they? I mean, what's the most common thing? You said both, but it depends obviously on the client. But what is the most common that you see?
I would have to say it's actually 50-50, the number of people who want the phone support and the number of people who don't want help and they just want to figure it out themselves.
Interesting. Okay. And it looks like silver is the best value. So what do people normally do? Bronze? I mean, what would you say your best-selling package here is?
It actually is between the silver or the per incident. A number of people will call in with just one little issue or question that they want to address. So this actually works for a lot of people.
You know, my old software company went to something like that. They retired a product, and they went to a per incident, but it was $250 per incident. So anytime they called in.
We're really focused on helping small businesses to be successful, and small businesses are usually really low on capital. So we hope that by keeping the barrier to entry low, we can help more people. Yeah,
I see that. This is awesome. So this has been helpful. I'm going to go back and play around. I'm sure I'll have additional questions or comments because now I kind of have an idea of navigating.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. Love all the feedback.
Yeah, I will. I'll play around with it when I have time throughout the nights, and when I can get on the computer and stuff and play, because it's really good. I think the concept is a really good concept.
Well, thank you. Do you have any ideas how we might be able to improve it?
Right now, I don't know. I like it. I just have to look at it more. I think having the flexibility of the dashboards you said is coming probably to be able to customize their own screens within what they're looking at is going to be very beneficial for the end user.
Okay.
So for the web parts, the web pages, is it, do you guys have style sheets? I think that was one of my questions. Can they import a style sheet and have it be their look and feel, or
sure.
do you just build that all completely out?
Settings, and then there's two ways of doing it. There's themes. So they can choose from a number of different themes. If they want to get more themes, they can click here, and there's a number of themes to choose from on this site here.
I did
see
that. I thought that was pretty cool.
They can also edit the existing theme by going to Administrator, and then Edit Custom Layouts. There's the style sheet, and then there's the different HTML templates. So if we click on that, they can edit it right here in line, or they can also do FTP too if they have an editor that they like to use.
Oh, okay, gotcha. No, this is cool. This has helped a lot. It's really awesome. I think the concept is really a good concept. I think almost anybody that is a small business that has any type of retail and has employees would benefit from it. I don't think it necessarily matters if it's a boxed item or if it's because most likely small companies are going to be, probably boxed items where they're sending, but I think anybody in the retail business would benefit. Where they do, shipping or even face-to-face with people.
Yeah, it does have a brick and mortar component for point of sale, so that is absolutely a possibility. I don't think I mentioned our WordPress plugin either. If they already have a WordPress website, they can still use the functionality. And you'll also notice here on the iTunes App Store, we also have an app where they can swipe credit cards. So if they go to a trade show, it pulls the inventory and the prices directly from the website. So your website, your WordPress blog, and your point of sale iPad that's out there at the trade show is all pulling your inventory and your pricing from the same central location in the cloud. So if the owner wants to change the price of roses by $5, and instead of calling all 30 of his reps that are driving all over the place, he can just update it in the database, and instantly all of their phones will update with that information.
That is slick. So my question then would be, I know you said it's small business and anybody that ships things, but so currently, just can you name a couple people that use it so it gives me an idea of how your clients, just anybody that I would know possibly, like names?
Sure. So we just completed a website for Secret Compass, which is right here in Fort Collins. They sell all kinds of really cool figurines and things.
That's cool.
I think they have like 5,000 different products. And so they're using AllProWebTools to manage their entire inventory. Their system also integrates with eBay, so every time they post a new product to their website, it also posts to eBay.
That is slick.
We also have this client here who has been renowned as the LinkedIn expert. She travels all over the world and talks about how to use LinkedIn to further your business. So yeah, really speaking toward that, putting something in a box. She really doesn't put things in boxes.
No. Yeah. No, that's good.
And then we have another client here who helps people with Facebook training and how to use Facebook to improve their business. So that's another one.
Okay, so they're not in a box either.
Nope. And then another one of my favorites, somebody who has over 100 different types of candles, and they sell their candles online.
Oh, that is way cool. Okay, so that gives me an idea. So let me do some thinking. I'll get back to you on, let me ponder on it for a little bit. Let me play around with it. I definitely see the advantages to it. I think that there could be a lot of different people, like you said, that there's people that have the Facebook and LinkedIn that train on that and help. I think that's great. I mean, you can create, you got your marketing, you've got your campaigns, you've got your invoicing. I mean, you've got everything in there.
That's the plan. And we're still building more. Did you see our future plans?
Well, what you just showed me, I mean, this is...
we've got we're busy till the middle of March with all our future features that we want to add to it.
So is that really current? What you really want to add to it?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, this is a constantly updated software, and it's not something that they have to download or configure. It just instantly the new features are there. As soon as they log in, they're upgraded automatically. I don't know if you played with the demo or if you just did like a 14-day trial install, but I really recommend people use the demo because it's already loaded with products and customers, and you can really just manipulate the data from there.
Yeah, no, I did. I just went into the demo. This is exactly where I went into.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, this is cool. And I was just sitting here playing around. I'm like, okay, wait, what am I doing here? So now so when I play on it, I can go to the web page, and the web page I can enter information as if I was a customer, and then it would reflect right back into the...
Right. So I can go to this lead box here, and I can put in Dave's test, and then I'll hit submit.
Okay.
And so I'm on the front side of the website. Now I go back to the dashboard, and I reload the dashboard, so it's right here.
Oh, that's pretty slick. Okay. Okay, no, this has been great. I appreciate it, Dave. I'll go and play, and thanks again for your time.
All right.
Okay.
You have a great day.
Appreciate it. You too. Thanks.